of glitches, but absolutely fine, with this type of scenario prevailing in and around due to the COVID, pandemic. So absolutely fine. Congrats to them also, to take this things forward. Now coming to the NLAT 2020, if you look at, the slots, first slot, second slot, third slot, to measure them, exactly the difference between first slot, second slot, and third slot will be a difficult task, because they are going to use some metrics to get the normalization factor to take place. Irrespective of that, the topics have been varying, the questions quality have been good. Coming to some of the topics, COVID has been common in all the three slots. Okay, if you look at some of the economics aspect, also has been a common factor in all this. One of the slot could see BSc and SC being discussed. In one of the factors, you can figure out hoarding of the vaccination is being discussed. In one of the factor, it is talks about the forex reserve. So economics has been all those topics have been common in all the economics like of topic has been picked in all the three slots and being placed. Apart from that, if you look at the questions which are pertinent to, especially for the QT, the quantitative technique, if you look at the difficulty level of the questions have been very difficult. The reason behind this comes out to be, apart from reading the question, you need to search for the data also to simplify that, and the simplification of the data was also very complex. So anyone who had the idea of leaving that question before the preparation of the plan, examination, or before the taking of the examination, might have made a small, good guess about the paper. Okay. Irrespective of that, there are a few questions which are doable, but definitely a few of the questions were challenging in nature in terms of, calculation which was involved, and in searching for the data in that complete, the passage. Okay. And looking at the other three section, English, reasoning, and the legal was especially very simple in terms of, if you could have just applied your common sense, not getting much detail about the passage, you could have done well, because legal was good, plain application of common sense. And English to some extent was also straightforward, because they have asked you what is the meaning of these two terms and all those stuff. So again, very direct. If you have been good reader with the English, you will not find out to probe much into the passage. And reasoning to some extent was getting confusing because of the time factor, right? If you look at, all the reasoning questions to great extent, comes into the later part of the passages. So which makes slightly thinking, because you have placed a time bound for yourself that, okay, 10 minutes or 12 minutes I have placed for my per passage or the per set of the question. So in that case, reasoning is always placed at the end, and you don't have the time to read and then apply that logic and get that answer. So it was complex. GK has been, GK is all I say binary. So that answer, you leave it. So it never, tested you in the time limit. But yeah, obviously GK was not very something, which you have been reading for in the last 6 to 8 months. So there is good presence which requires your backdated information to get you these things done. But overall, if you look at, these three questions pertaining to the English, reasoning, and legal are easy in nature in all the sets, all the, the slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. And the QT has been a difficult task in, difficult challenging question in all the three slots. And if you look at the GK is varied. It is you can't put them into the these questions were easy in nature. If you know them, it's fine. Again, binary logic plays into the things. So analyzing the paper, talking to the student, I could arrive that how this is going to work out. If you look at a very safe call can be anyone who is having a score somewhere nearby 55 plus something, and that's the safe zone. If you look at this is a something which I could see from the data which is popping up, with the student, talking to the student, the amount of attempts what they have made and whatever accuracy they carry. So if 55 plus minus 2 something is something which is going to be safe zones. And in a nutshell, you can say any score which is 55 plus is a safe zone for making to the your target of NLS Bangalore. And finally, what I would also suggest you that don't get into the debate of searching for a lot of cutoffs and looking at the answer keys and debating about the factors which will take place. Now start focusing yourself for the exam, CLAT examination, which will take place on 28th of November. Start putting your more effort towards that. NLAT is done. Any student who has got any score, I think answer key will be uploaded by today, or let us suppose by tomorrow. Just check your answer key. If you are able to score somewhere, you know, the scores comes out to be 55 plus something like this, plus minus 2, or let us suppose anything which is in and around 55 plus is something, is a very good score to look forward to for this examination. All right, this is Pranav from CLAT Tutor. Thank you so much, and all the best for your CLAT examination. Plus, in case of any of the queries, any questions you want me to answer, you can, you know, put that in the message box. I will be, you know, happy to answer that. Thank you. Good day.